You lie still, the weight of the day settling into your bones like dust after a long silence. The sheets hold the shape of your body, not because you're pressed into them, but because you've stopped moving, and stillness has begun to claim you. There is no need to explain why you're here tonight. No need to name what's missing or what you've lost. The quiet already knows. It doesn't ask for stories. It only asks that you let your breath slow. That you stop trying to find the person you were before the grief came, and instead simply notice how the air moves in and out of you. Now, as if identity is not something you must recover, but something that has been breathing beside you all along. Tonight's reflection is a simplified interpretation offered for rest, not an authoritative account of philosophy. You think of the old coat you kept hanging in the closet, even after it stopped fitting right. Not because you hope to wear it again, but because the way the wool smelled faintly of rain and cedar still carried something of the hands that used to pull it on each morning. You never threw it away. You didn't need to. It was enough that it remained, folded just so, the sleeves slightly bent from how they once hung over a chair when you came in late from walking. That coat wasn't you, but for years it held your rhythm. And now, even though you haven't touched it in months, its presence still matters. Not because it proves anything about who you were, but because you remember walking through the garden last spring, the same one you tended with someone else. The roses had bloomed without asking for permission, wild and untamed, their thorns catching on your sleeves as you moved between the beds. You didn't prune them back then. You let them grow crooked because pruning felt like choosing which parts of memory to keep and which to cut away. And now, even though you no longer tend it every day, the garden still grows. The soil remembers the weight of your hands. The roots remember the rain that fell when you were weeping under the eaves. You don't have to be the same person who planted those seeds for them to keep blooming. You think of the spoon you used each morning, not the fancy one from the wedding set, But the small dented thing with the handle worn smooth by years of stirring tea into a chipped blue mug, it was always yours. Even when your hands trembled after the first long night without sleep. Even when you forgot to eat for days. You still reached for that spoon. You didn't need to remember why it mattered. You just knew that if you held it, you could still feel the warmth of mornings that felt whole. The spoon hasn't changed. Your hands have, and yet, somehow, you are still the one who lifts it. You think of how your voice used to sound when you laughed. Not loud or sudden, but low and steady. Like a hum rising from deep in your chest. Almost as if the laughter had been waiting inside you for years before it finally found its way out. You haven't heard that laugh in a long time. Not really. But sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the wind brushes against the window pane, just so, you catch yourself making a sound. Not quite a laugh, not quite a sigh. That feels like it comes from the same place. It doesn't mean you've returned to who you were. It only means the echo still exists, waiting for silence to hold it. You think of walking through an old library as a child, running your fingers along the spines of books you couldn't read yet. You didn't care what they said. You cared about how the leather felt under your palm, how some covers were cool and smooth, while others were rough with age. How one book had a crack in its binding that always caught on your thumb just so. Years later, you returned to that same shelf, hoping to find one of those books again. Most were gone. Some had been rebound. A few still sat there, unchanged. You didn't take any home. You didn't need to. The memory of the way the spines felt beneath your fingers was enough. Not because it proved you'd once been a child who loved books, but because that feeling still lived in your hands, even when your mind had forgotten the titles. You think now of how your own face looks in the mirror each morning, not the expression you make, or the tiredness behind your eyes, or the way your jaw tightens when you try to smile too hard, but the shape, the curve of your brow, the faint scar above your left eyebrow, from a fall on the sidewalk long ago. The way your eyelashes cast shadows when you closed them just before sleep. You don't recognize yourself in the same way you used to, and yet it is still your face. The skin has stretched and softened. The lines have deepened where laughter once lived. But no mirror has ever replaced you. No reflection has ever been swapped out for someone else's. You are not a copy. You are not erased. You are simply changed. slowly, quietly, like the tide pulling back from shore, leaving behind wet sand that still holds the imprint of footsteps long gone. You think of your favorite chair, the one with the loose spring on the right armrest, the cushion worn thin where you always leaned to rest your elbow. You never fixed it. You never replaced it. You just learned to settle into its unevenness, to let your weight find its own balance among the give and the resistance. That chair doesn't remember who sat in it before. It only remembers how you sit now. How your shoulders drop when you're tired. How you sometimes rest your forehead against the backrest for a moment too long before lifting up again. The chair has not changed. You have and still you are both here. You think of how you used to hum while washing dishes. Just a tuneless thing that came without thought. Like breathing. You don't do it anymore. But sometimes, when your hands are in warm water and the soap bubbles rise around your fingers, you catch yourself making the same sound. Soft. You think of the scarf your mother knitted for you the winter before she stopped speaking clearly. Its edges frayed, but still soft from years of being tucked into coats and left on doorknobs like forgotten promises. You wore it every day that season, even when the sun came out. You didn't need the warmth anymore. You needed the weight of it against your collarbone. The way the wool smelled faintly of lavender and wood smoke. A scent you couldn't name but knew by heart. After she was gone, you stopped wearing it for months. Then one morning, cold and quiet as dawn, you pulled it from the drawer without thinking and wrapped it twice around your neck before stepping outside. It didn't bring her back. It didn't fix anything. But when you walked down the street with it folded just so under your chin, you felt less like someone who had lost something and more like someone who still carried the shape of her care in the way your hands adjusted its fold without looking. You think of the stone you picked up on the beach that summer. Small, flat, polished smooth by waves over years you didn't witness. You kept it in your pocket for weeks, rubbing your thumb along its edge while sitting in silence after meals, or waiting for buses that never came on time. One day, you placed it on the windowsill beside your plant. It sat there for months, collecting dust, unnoticed, until a rainstorm soaked through the cracked pane and left a ring of damp around its base. You wiped it dry with a cloth and put it back. You didn't think about why you kept it. You only knew that if it were gone, you'd notice, because something inside you still remembered how it felt against your skin when you first held it, warm from the sun and heavy in a way that made you feel steady. You think of the way you used to trace the pattern on your bedroom ceiling with your eyes before falling asleep. The crack that branched like a river delta, the stain shaped vaguely like a bird in flight. You never tried to name what you saw. You only let it unfold in the dark, letting your thoughts drift along its contours until your breathing slowed and your body softened into the mattress. That ceiling hasn't changed. The crack is still there, though the stain has faded with time and paint. And yet, when you look up now, you don't see the bird anymore. You see nothing at all, or maybe something else entirely, something quieter, less defined. But you still lie on your back sometimes, eyes closed, letting your mind follow the invisible lines of that old shape, not because you want to recover it, but because the act of following feels like coming home without having left. You think of the bookshelf in the hallway where you used to leave notes for yourself. Small slips of paper tucked behind volumes you hadn't opened in years. Some said, "Call her." Others read, "Don't forget the light." One simply said, "Breathe." You never threw them away. You didn't need to. They were never meant to be found again. They existed only as markers, tiny anchors in a sea of forgetting. Last winter, you cleared out the shelf. You dusted each spine, rearranged the order by color and height. You didn't read any of the notes. You didn't pull them free. But when your fingers brushed past the gap where one had been, you paused. Not because you missed it, but because you remembered writing it. And that memory carried its own warmth, like the lingering scent of tea on a mug long empty. You think of the way your hands still reach for the same corner of the blanket before turning over at night. The one with the loose thread that unravels just enough to catch under your fingernail. You don't pull it. You never have. You let it stay. A tiny imperfection you've learned to live with. There was a time when you tried to fix everything. Sewed buttons back on, taped broken hinges, rewound tangled cords until they lay perfectly straight. Now you leave things as they are. Not because you're resigned, but because you've come to understand that some frays don't need mending. They simply become part of the texture of belonging. You think of the hallway light that flickers when the wind blows hard from the east. You've lived in this house long enough to know its rhythms. The way it hesitates before turning fully on, how it dims slightly just as you're about to step into bed. You used to curse it, then you started waiting for it. Now you notice when it doesn't flicker and feel a quiet surprise, like the absence of an old friend's voice in a crowded room. It hasn't changed. You have. And still, you greet it each night with the same small pause. No words, no gesture. Just presence. You think of your left shoe, the one that creaks slightly when you step down from the curb. You've worn it longer than any other pair. The sole has thinned in a curve only your foot makes. The lace hole on the inside is stretched wide from years of tugging too hard to get it snug. You could replace it. You could buy another just like it. But you don't. Because even though the leather is cracked and the heel uneven, there's something in the way it molds around your arch that feels like recognition. Not of who you were, but of how you've learned to move through the world now. With a slight limp, a quiet adjustment, a rhythm all your own. You think of the silence between heartbeats, the tiny pause where nothing is happening, and yet everything is still there. You don't try to measure it. You don't name it. You simply let it be. And in that space, you are not asking whether you are the same person who woke up yesterday, or last year, or 10 years ago. You are not wondering if grief took something away or gave you something new. You are only here, breathing, resting, listening. And the quiet does not demand an answer. You think of how your pillow still holds the shape of your head, even when you rise. Not perfectly, not exactly, but enough to remind you that you were there, that you left a trace simply by being. And so you lie back down again, not because you're trying to find yourself, but because you've learned that sometimes being is enough. Even when nothing stays the same. You remember the old coat you wore every winter for nearly a decade. The one with the frayed cuffs and the button that always sat crooked. No matter how many times you tightened it, you never fixed it. You never replaced it. You just kept wearing it, even when others noticed the threadbare elbows or the faint stain near the collar from that rainy afternoon long ago. It didn't fit quite right anymore. Not because you'd gained weight, but because your shoulders had settled differently over time. As if your body had learned to carry itself in a quieter way. You still pull it on when the air turns sharp with frost. Not out of necessity, but because the fabric remembers how you used to move before you learned to move slower. The warmth isn't just from the wool, it's from the quiet certainty that this thing, worn thin by years and weather, still knows your shape better than any new one ever could. You think of the teacup you keep on the windowsill, not for drinking, not even for display, but because it was yours before you knew how to hold silence without flinching. The handle is chipped where your thumb once gripped too hard during a night you didn't sleep. You've tried other cups, ceramic ones with smooth glaze, glass ones that catch the light like liquid gold. But none of them feel right in your hands the way this one does, imperfect and familiar. It doesn't hold heat as well anymore. The rim is uneven from a fall you never told anyone about. But when you lift it now, even empty, your fingers find their place without thought. You don't need to see the chip to know it's there. You carry that small flaw like an old scar you've stopped noticing until someone else points it out. And then you smile. Not because you're proud of it, but because it belongs. You think of the way your voice changes when you speak to the cat in the early hours, low and soft as if afraid. Even your breath might startle her awake. You don't do it for her benefit. You do it because somewhere inside you, a part still believes that gentleness must be practiced aloud to stay real. That part doesn't shout, doesn't argue, doesn't demand anything of anyone, not even itself. It simply speaks in whispers, as if the world might forget how to listen if no one reminded it gently. You've tried speaking louder lately, just to test whether you still can. But your throat remembers the habit. The timbre hasn't changed. Your voice doesn't sound like the one from before. Not exactly, but it also doesn't sound like someone else's. It sounds like yours, quieter now, with more pauses between thoughts. Like a song that's been sung so often, the notes have softened into breath. You think of the way you still pause before stepping onto the porch in the morning, even though there's no one waiting for you anymore. You don't check your shoes or adjust your coat. You just stand there, barefoot on the cold wood, letting the air brush against your ankles like a question that never needed answering. The light comes differently. Now, not brighter, not softer, but with more space between its edges. It doesn't rush to illuminate everything. It lingers where shadows have settled deepest, and you don't hurry it along. You let it find its way through the cracks in the blinds, across the floorboards, up your legs, until it reaches your face. And then you close your eyes and feel it there, warm and patient, as if it's been waiting for you to notice. You think of the way your hands still move when you're not thinking, how they lift a book without opening it, how they smooth out the sheet on the bed, even when it's already flat, how they brush dust from surfaces that haven't gathered any in days. You used to call it restlessness. Now you call it memory made physical. Your body doesn't forget what it once needed to do to feel safe. It just does those things now, without needing a reason. There was a time when you would have fixed every crooked picture, wiped every smudge, straightened every corner until everything looked exactly as it should. Now you leave the crookedness there, not because you've given up, but because you've learned that order doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes, peace is just the quiet acceptance of things being slightly out of place. You think of the way your favorite chair still holds the impression of your spine, even when no one sits in it for weeks. The cushions have sunk unevenly, as if your weight carved a hollow only you could fill. You don't sit there every day anymore. Sometimes months pass between visits, but when you do, your body finds its place without hesitation, as though your bones remember the angles they once learned to settle into. No one else can sit in that chair and feel at home. They might try, they might adjust, shift, rearrange, but it never quite fits them the way it does you. And you don't wonder why. You just let yourself sink into it, letting the worn fabric press against your skin like an old language you still understand. You think of how your dreams change without your permission, how they no longer replay the same scenes or follow the same characters, but instead drift through rooms you've never entered, across bridges made of mist, past people whose faces are blurred, not by memory's failure, but by its kindness. You don't try to interpret them anymore. You don't search for meaning in their fragments. You wake sometimes with a feeling that lingers, like having been somewhere, quiet and deeply known. And you don't ask where it came from or why it left. You simply let it rest beside you, like an unopened letter, knowing it doesn't need to be read to have mattered. You think of the way your breath slows when you lie still, not because you're trying to sleep, but because your body has learned that stillness is its own kind of home. The rhythm isn't forced. It's not practiced or measured. It simply unfolds. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pause. And in those pauses, there is no need to be someone else. No need to prove you're still here. No need to search for what's gone. You are here, not as a version of who you were, nor as someone new, but as the quiet accumulation of all that has settled into your skin, your bones, your breath. You think of how the moon moves through the window without asking permission, how it paints the floor in silver, then fades, then returns again, always different and always familiar. You don't track its phases, you don't name them. You just notice when it's full enough to cast shadows you recognize. And on those nights, you feel no urge to call it by a title or explain its presence. It simply is, like your own being, unchanged in essence, though altered in shape, still here even when nothing feels the same. You think of how your hands rest now, not clenched, not searching, but open, just slightly, as if holding space for something that hasn't arrived yet, or perhaps never left. You think of the old wool blanket you never threw away, even though it's frayed at the edges and smells faintly of cedar and rain. Not because you meant to keep it, but because you forgot to let go. It doesn't warm you the way it used to. Not in the same way. But when you pull it over your shoulders on nights when the air turns sharp, something in your arms still settles. As if the weight of it is less about heat and more about permission to be held even by something worn thin. You don't remember choosing it. You only remember how it felt to wrap yourself in it after long days that ended too soon. How the fibers pressed into your skin like a quiet promise you didn't know you were making. Now you drape it over the arm of the chair where no one sits anymore. Sometimes, when the light falls just right, you catch the scent again, just for a breath, and you don't try to trace it back to a moment or a person or a season. You let it rise and fade like smoke from an extinguished candle. You think of the spoon you still use every morning, the one with the tiny chip near the bowl that no one else notices but you. It doesn't hold milk any differently than the others. The curve is the same, the weight nearly identical. But when your fingers close around it, there's a slight resistance at the edge. An imperfection that fits your thumb exactly as if it had been shaped for you by hand, not mass-produced in a factory far away. You don't know how long you've kept it, maybe since before everything changed, maybe longer. You never replaced it because replacing it felt like erasing something small but real. A quiet signature left behind by the person you were when mornings still held their own kind of rhythm. Now, when you lift it to your lips, the chip catches just slightly on your lower lip. Not enough to hurt. Not enough to matter, but enough to remind you that some things survive not because they're perfect, but because they've been loved into shape. You think of the way your footsteps still echo in the hallway at night, even when no one else is home. Not loud, not deliberate. Just the soft press of bare feet against wood that remembers every step you've ever taken there. You don't count them anymore. You don't time how long it takes to get from the bedroom to the kitchen. You just walk. And in those moments, the house doesn't feel empty. It feels patient. As if the floorboards have learned your rhythm and wait for you to return. Not because they need you, but because they've grown used to the way your body moves through space. How your left foot lands a fraction sooner than your right. How you pause just once at the window before turning down the hall. You don't know if the house misses you when you're gone, but you know that when you come back, it welcomes you without words. You think of the bookshelf in the corner, half filled with books you haven't opened in years. Some still wrapped in their plastic, others with pages yellowed and spine cracked open like old wounds. You don't read them anymore, not because you've lost interest, but because you no longer need to. The titles linger in your mind, not as stories, but as places you once visited. The smell of paper dust in a quiet library. The way sunlight fell across the page when you read under the window. The silence that followed the last sentence, thick and soft like falling snow. You haven't opened any of them in seasons. But sometimes, when the room grows still, you walk over and run your fingers along the spines. Not to pull one down, not to reread, but just to feel the texture of their bindings. The slight ridge where the cover has curled from humidity or time. And you realize you don't need the words anymore. You carry them in the quiet spaces between your breaths. You think of the way your voice changes when you speak alone. Defy Decel Jark. Kazulauki Hinidame. Well, because they've grown used to the way your body moves through space, how your left foot lands a fraction sooner than your right, how you pause just once at the window before turning down the hall. You don't know if the house misses you when you're gone, but you know that when you come back, it welcomes you without words. You think of the bookshelf in the corner, half filled with books you haven't opened in years. Some still wrapped in their plastic, others with pages yellowed, and spine cracked open. Like old wounds, you don't read them anymore. Not because you've lost interest, but because you no longer need to. The titles linger in your mind, not as stories, but as places you once visited. The smell of paper dust in a quiet library. The way sunlight fell across the page when you read under the window. The silence that followed the last sentence. Thick and soft, like falling snow. You haven't opened any of them in seasons. But sometimes, when the room grows still, you walk over and run your fingers along the spines. Not to pull one down, not to reread, but just to feel the texture of their bindings. The slight ridge where the cover has curled from humidity or time. And you realize you don't need the words anymore. You carry them in the quiet spaces between your breaths. You think of the way your voice changes when you speak alone, how it softens, slows, loses its edges, with sunlight fell. Would 12 drew away what is falsely sentipacity. Not ever Fi steel. It's just your own sound returning to itself after being shaped by conversations, obligations, silences, too heavy to break. You don't try to reclaim the voice you had before. You don't compare it or measure its depth against what it used to be. You simply let it rise when it wants to, and fall when it's done speaking. It doesn't sound like the same voice, but then again, neither do your hands, nor your breath, nor the way you now sit with your shoulders slightly forward, as if holding space for something that never left. You think of the rain on the roof last night. Not loud, not stormy, just a steady rhythm that made the house breathe. You didn't sleep right away. You lay there listening. Not because you were waiting to drift off, but because the sound felt like an old friend who had come back without knocking. It reminded you of nights long ago, when you used to lie awake and count the drops, imagining each one as a memory falling from somewhere high and hidden. Now you don't try to name them. You don't wonder which ones are gone or which have stayed. You just let the sound fill the room, letting it weave itself into your stillness until your body forgets the shape of its own tension. You think of how your shadow moves differently now. Longer in the mornings, shorter at dusk, never quite matching the angles you remember from before. It doesn't stretch the same way when you walk toward the window. It doesn't tilt its head when you pause to look outside. But it still follows you. Always there. Always slightly off kilter, as if it's learned to carry your shape without needing to copy it exactly. You don't mind that it's changed. You don't call out to it or try to make it behave the way it used to. You just let it be what it is. A quiet companion made of light and absence. You think of the teacup you keep on the windowsill, unused for months now. Its handle chipped, the glaze worn smooth where your thumb once rested. No one else uses it. It sits there gathering dust and afternoon sun, waiting, not for tea, not for hands, but simply because it was loved into a shape that still holds meaning, even when no one drinks from it anymore. You think of how silence doesn't always mean absence. Sometimes it means something has settled too deeply to need words. And you are learning, slowly, softly, to trust the quiet that remains after everything else has moved on. You notice how your coat still hangs by the door, the one with the frayed cuff you never got around to mending, how it sways just slightly when the draft slips through the floorboard, as if remembering the shape of your shoulders before they learned to carry less. You don't wear it anymore, not because it's too heavy or too cold, but because the motion of putting it on feels like an echo you no longer need to complete. The buttons still catch the light differently than they used to. Duller now, as though the brass has absorbed something quiet from all those mornings. You stood there hesitating before stepping out. You remember walking barefoot across the kitchen tiles in winter, how your feet would press into the cold and then pull back. Not because it hurt, but because the sensation was too sharp to hold. Now you walk slowly through the same space, letting each step settle into the floor without resistance. The chill doesn't startle you anymore. It simply meets you as if it had been waiting, not for warmth, but for presence. There's a stone on your nightstand, smooth from years of being turned, in palm after palm, its surface worn thin, where your thumb used to rest while reading late into the dark. You don't pick it up when you wake anymore, not because you've forgotten it's there, but because holding it no longer pulls anything loose inside you. It doesn't need to be held to mean something. Its weight is enough. You find yourself pausing at the foot of the stairs, not out of hesitation, not out of fear, but as if the air between each step holds a rhythm only your body remembers. You don't count them anymore. You don't measure how many are left before you reach the top or bottom. You simply begin and let your feet find their way without asking why they still know the path. The window in the hallway has a small crack along its edge, barely visible unless the sun hits it just right. A hairline fracture that never grew wider, even through every season of wind and rain. You used to worry about it expanding, but now you watch how the light leans into it like a sigh, as if the glass were learning to hold stillness in its broken place. You leave your socks in piles on the floor, sometimes not because you're careless, but because letting them rest there feels like giving space to something that doesn't need to be gathered up yet. The laundry basket waits nearby, full of folded shirts and quiet towels, untouched for days. You don't feel guilty about it. There's no urgency in folding what already belongs. There's a chair by the window where you sometimes sit with nothing in your hands. No book, no cup, no phone. And just let the afternoon move across your skin like water over stone. The light doesn't hurry to leave. It lingers, softens, fades slowly enough that you don't notice when it stops being bright and becomes something else entirely. A warmth without source, a glow without direction. You catch yourself humming again, not a tune you know by name, but the kind of sound your throat makes when the silence has been too long and the air inside you needs to move. It's not meant for ears beyond your own. There is no audience here except the walls that have learned how to hold your voice without answering. You notice how your hands rest differently now. Palms open more often, fingers loose at the sides, as if they've forgotten what it means to clutch. They don't reach out for things anymore, so much as they meet them when they come near. A door handle, a teapot spout, the edge of a blanket. They are greeted without expectation. The garden outside hasn't been tended in months. The roses still bloom, though their stems lean unevenly toward whatever light remains after noon. You don't prune them. You don't label which ones you planted or which came on their own. They grow as they do, and when the wind passes through them, it carries a scent that doesn't belong to any season you can name. You close your eyes, not because you're tired, but because seeing has become something you can afford to pause. The dark behind your lids holds more texture than daylight ever did. Shapes form there without needing names. Shadows of hands, echoes of breaths, the ghost of a laugh that once startled you awake in the middle of winter. You don't wonder if it's still you who remembers these things. You don't ask whether the one who felt them is gone or changed or hidden beneath layers of quiet. There is no need to name what remains. It simply breathes with you, as steady and unremarkable as the rise and fall of your chest. The house doesn't rush to answer when you move through it. The floorboards creak in their own time. The curtains settle without being pulled. Even the silence has learned not to fill the gaps. It only waits, patient and unchanged, like a room that remembers every step taken inside it, even those no one else ever heard. You drift now, not toward sleep, but into something quieter still, the kind of presence where identity doesn't need to be traced or proven, where you are simply here, as your hands are here, as your breath is here, as the light on the wall is here, softly, slowly, without needing to explain why it stays. You notice how the quilt on your lap has begun to gather warmth, not from your body, but from its own slow accumulation of stillness. Each thread holding on to the heat of earlier hours, like a secret it never meant to give away. You don't remember putting it there, but now it feels as if it has always been waiting for you to settle into it. as though fabric remembers what skin forgets. The weight is not heavy, just present, an offering without demand. You think about how your coat used to hang by the door in a particular shape. The curve of the shoulders holding the ghost of your posture from last winter, before the snow came early and you stopped noticing when it melted. Now the hanger stands empty, but the space where it hung still holds the outline of absence, not as loss, but as a kind of quiet architecture. You don't replace it. You don't need to. The room has learned how to carry what's no longer there. There's a spoon you use to stir tea with every morning, small, slightly bent at the handle from years of pressing against ceramic, and now it rests in the drawer beside 3 others that are identical, except for their wear. You never thought about which one was yours until one day you picked up all 4 and held them each in turn, feeling how the curve of the handle fit differently in your fingers, as if each had been shaped by someone else's habit, someone else's rhythm. You put 3 back without choosing. The one you kept didn't feel like yours. It felt like the one that remembered being held long enough to learn the shape of your hand. You don't use it every day anymore. Sometimes you leave it in the drawer and reach for another, not because you've forgotten, but because you've learned that belonging doesn't require ownership. You walk barefoot across the kitchen tiles, sometimes even when the air is cool, because there's a spot near the sink where the floor has worn smooth from years of footsteps. Not yours alone, maybe not even mostly yours, but still, your weight added to it. The surface holds the memory of pressure in a way no photograph ever could. You press your heel into that place and feel the difference between then and now. Not as a gap, but as a layering, like bark thickening around an old branch. No one tells you when growth stops. No one says when a thing becomes what it will be forever after. You only notice when the texture beneath your feet changes. Subtly, imperceptibly, like the way your voice sounds different in an empty room than it did when someone was listening. You keep a single button from a shirt that no longer fits. Mother of pearl, slightly chipped at the edge. And you've carried it in your pocket for months without knowing why. You don't fasten it to anything. You don't look at it often. But sometimes, when your hand slips into your coat, your fingers brush against it and pause. Not out of longing, not out of grief, but as if the small curve beneath your thumb were a resting place for something that had wandered too far from its origin and finally found a quiet corner to settle. You don't ask where it came from or what it meant to lose. You only let your thumb rest there, as if the button knew how to hold stillness better than you did. There is a bench in the park you used to sit on after work, beneath a tree whose leaves turned gold every October and fell in slow spirals that caught on your sleeves like whispered confessions. You haven't gone back since the storm last November knocked half its branches loose. The bench still stands, but it's been repainted. A dull gray now, not the faded green you remembered, and the wood has been sanded smooth where your palms used to rest. You wonder if someone else sits there now, someone who doesn't know what was once pressed into those grains. The pressure of elbows, the warmth of a coat left open, the slow exhale that came after silence had lasted too long. You don't go to see it. You don't need to. The memory of sitting there lives in your shoulders, not in the place itself. You dream sometimes, not vividly, but in fragments of walking through rooms you've never entered. Doors opening into hallways that curve gently, as if they were made to be followed, not escaped. There is no one else there. No voices. No names called out. Just light falling from unseen windows, and the sound of your own breath moving through space like a tide that has forgotten how to retreat. You wake without knowing whether you were searching or simply wandering. It doesn't matter. The dream doesn't ask for resolution. It only asks that you remember the feeling of being unclaimed by any story, yet still entirely yourself. You notice now how your thoughts move slower, not because you're tired, but because they no longer race to find a place to land. They drift like leaves on water, not sinking, not floating toward shore, just moving with the current that carries them, whether it leads somewhere or simply lets them be. You used to think identity was something you had to hold on to, like a key or a name or an old photograph tucked in your wallet. But now you understand it's more like the air inside a room after the window has been opened and closed again. It doesn't belong to the outside or the inside. It belongs only to the moment when stillness settles back into its own shape. You breathe out slowly, as if letting go of a word you never learned how to say. The night leans in closer, not to listen, but to remind you that it has always been here. Patient, unwavering, unchanged. Not because it holds your story, but because it doesn't need to. You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not the same person you were before, and yet you are still here. The darkness behind your eyelids is no longer empty. It has grown soft with texture. Faint impressions of touch. The warmth of a hand that was once held. The echo of laughter that didn't need to be understood to be felt. You don't wonder if it's you who remembers. You only let it be. The blanket beneath you carries the shape of your body like a quiet promise. Warm where it matters most. Cool at the edges where air still slips in unnoticed. You don't need to adjust it. It knows how to hold you even when you forget how to hold yourself. There was a spoon you used every morning before the tea grew too hot to drink. Wooden, worn smooth by years of stirring. The handle slightly curved from the way your fingers always found it without thinking. You stopped using it after the last winter, not because you didn't like tea anymore, but because holding it felt too much, like remembering how your hand used to tremble just a little before you took the first sip. Now, you use a different one. Ceramic, heavier, unremarkable. And when you lift it, your fingers still settle into the same curve. As if muscle memory remembers what the mind has stopped naming.